Okay, get ready because today we're diving into a world where culinary artistry meets, well, murder.
Ooh, that sounds intense.
It is. The book is Butter, a novel of food and murder. And believe me, it's a real page turner.
I love a good culinary mystery. What's the setup?
Imagine a world famous food critic.
Yeah, the kind whose word can make or break a restaurant.
Exactly. So this critic drops dead after enjoying a chef's signature dish, a dish known for its, you guessed it, butter.
Oh, wow. So right away we're thinking, was it an accident, food poisoning, or something more deliberate?
That's the mystery. And it all revolves around Chef Margot Lavoie and her Michelin-starred restaurant, Melange.
Michelin star. Okay, so we're talking high stakes, serious culinary talent. What's her specialty?
Butter. Specifically, her butter-centric recipes. They're what put her on the map. Foodies from all over clamor to get a reservation.
I can just imagine. Exquisite, luxurious dishes all centered around this amazing butter. But I guess all that success comes with a price.
It does, because into this world walks Vincent Darcy, the food critic I mentioned earlier.
Ah, the one with the power to make or break her career. I bet his arrival at Melange was a real pressure cooker.
You can say that again. Margot's meticulously preparing her most celebrated dish, truffle butter risotto. The tension is palpable. And
And then, don't leave me hanging.
Vincent takes a bite, savors it, and collapses. Dead.
Oh my gosh, right there in the dining room.
Right there. Suddenly, all eyes are on Margot and her famous butter.
Talk about a recipe for disaster.
Mhm.
But wait, if it was just food poisoning, wouldn't that be pretty straightforward?
You'd think so, but here's where things take a darker turn. The police find traces of a very specific, very rare toxin in Vincent's blood. And guess what?
It's in the butter.
You got it. Now, this is no ordinary case of food poisoning. This is murder. And Margot is the prime suspect.
So is it possible that someone tampered with her ingredients? Or maybe it was an accident, a contamination issue she didn't catch.
That's what we're trying to find out. And leading the investigation is Detective Samuel Blake. But he's not just any detective.
Oh, there's something special about this detective.
He's a former foodie, so he understands the culinary world, the pressures, the rivalries, the secrets. He's the perfect person to untangle this delicious but deadly mystery.
Okay, this is getting good. Where does he start digging? Margot's past, maybe? I'm sure there are plenty of people who'd want to see her fall from grace.
Well, he starts by looking into Margot's staff. There's Lily, her ambitious assistant, who seems a little too eager to take over.
Ambitious assistant, classic suspect.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Then there's Alex, the sous chef. Apparently he and Margot have a, shall we say, complicated past, a little romantic entanglement, maybe some professional jealousy thrown in.
Ooh, now we're talking. So, everyone has secrets, and they all seem to connect back to Margot's famous butter.
Exactly. It's like the butter becomes the symbol of her success and maybe even a motive for someone who wants to see her destroyed.
And to make things even creepier, Detective Blake uncovers something else. Remember those suspicious deaths we talked about?
The ones linked to Margot's past restaurants.
Those ones. Well, it turns out her signature butter recipes were involved in each of those cases. So it's not just one death, it's a pattern.
Okay, now that's sending chills down my spine. So what are we dealing with? A series of unfortunate accidents? Or a cold, calculating killer who uses butter as their weapon? This is going to be one heck of a deep dive.
I can't wait to see where this goes. And this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. What happens next?
We've got two investigations happening at the same time.
Oh, a two-pronged approach. I like it. So we've got the official one with Detective Blake, but Margot isn't just sitting around, is she?
No way. This is a woman whose reputation is everything. And her butter, her recipes, that's her life's work. She's not going to let it all be destroyed without a fight.
So she takes matters into her own hands. I'm picturing some late-night clandestine culinary investigation.
You got it. Imagine this. Margot, in her own restaurant after everyone's gone, under the cover of darkness, meticulously analyzing every ingredient.
Wow, trying to find any trace of that toxin, right? That's risky, but it shows how desperate she is to clear her name. So what about Detective Blake? What's he up to while Margot's playing culinary detective?
Well, he's digging into those suspicious deaths linked to Margot's past. And remember those anonymous notes she was getting? The ones hinting at dark secrets in her butter recipes.
Oh yeah, those were creepy. Do they tie into Blake's investigation?
They do, in a big way.
Hmm.
Blake discovers that Margot's supplier, the one providing her with all her ingredients, has been adding things, Little enhancements,
Yeah.
things that might make the food taste better, but also,
Also potentially dangerous.
exactly. And some of these additions, well, let's just say they could be deadly if not used properly.
Hold on, so it wasn't intentional sabotage, it was more like reckless experimenting.
Maybe. But the question is, was the supplier acting alone? Or was someone telling them to add these dangerous elements to Margot's butter? It's like the author wants us to wonder, was this an accident waiting to happen? Or was it a deliberate act of sabotage?
Ooh, that's good. Keeps us guessing. So where does Margot fit into all of this? What happens when she finds out about the supplier's meddling?
Well, can you imagine? First, she's a murder suspect.
Yeah.
And then she finds out someone has been messing with her recipes, her ingredients, her entire career, and potentially causing deaths along the way.
Wow, talk about a nightmare scenario. But I'm sensing another twist coming. Is there more to this story?
Oh, there's always another layer, isn't there? Remember Margot's former mentor, Chef Roland? The one whose star seemed to fade as hers rose.
Oh, yeah, Chef Roland. There was definitely some tension there, some professional rivalry, maybe even a little resentment. But surely he wouldn't.
The novel reveals a darker side to Chef Roland. Years of resentment and jealousy have festered within him. He blames Margot for his own downfall, for stealing his techniques, for overshadowing him.
So he admits to everything, to trying to sabotage Margot.
He does, and it's chilling. He lays out his entire plan, how he used the supplier to tamper with Margot's ingredients, how he orchestrated those accidents to make her look guilty, how he wanted to destroy everything she'd built.
Oh, that's awful. Her own mentor, the person she trusted, was behind it all. That's just heartbreaking. How does Margot cope with that kind of betrayal?
It's a pivotal moment in the book. We see Margot grappling with this profound betrayal, this realization that her success came at a terrible price. And it makes you think, how far would any of us go to achieve our dreams? Where's the line between ambition and, well, obsession?
Those are some heavy questions, but I'm dying to know what happens next. Does Margot just accept this? Or does she fight back?
She fights back. Oh, does she ever?
So does she go after Roland, try to expose him?
She does, but not in some quiet, behind-the-scenes way. She confronts him at Melange, right in the middle of the restaurant, in front of everyone.
Wow, talk about a dramatic showdown. I can practically hear the gasps from the diners. What happens?
Margot lays it all out. She tells everyone exactly what Roland did, how he manipulated and sabotaged her, how he poisoned her ingredients and tried to frame her for murder. It's a powerful moment.
Yeah.
You can feel her anger, her pain, but also her determination to clear her name and reclaim her life.
I bet. After everything she's been through, to finally stand up to her tormentor, to expose him for who he really is, that must have been incredibly cathartic. So what about Roland? How does he react?
He tries to deny it, of course,
Yeah.
but the evidence is overwhelming. The police are called, and he's arrested. But the focus of the story shifts away from him at that point. It's not about his punishment or his downfall.
It's about Margot's recovery, right? Picking up the
Yeah.
pieces and rebuilding her life.
Exactly. And she does it in a way that's both inspiring and thought-provoking.
Yeah.
She decides to open a new restaurant. But this one's different. It's all about transparency, sustainability, using only the purest, most ethically sourced ingredients.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. It's like she's rejecting the darkness that Roland brought into her life and choosing to create something positive, something life-affirming.
It's a testament to her resilience, her ability to turn pain into something beautiful and meaningful. And it really highlights one of the core themes of the novel, redemption. Even after experiencing such profound betrayal, Margot finds a way to move forward, to find purpose and meaning in her craft.
It's an inspiring message, reminding us that even in the face of immense challenges, we have the power to choose how we respond, how we rebuild, how we redefine ourselves. But before we finish up this deep dive into Butter, a novel of food and murder, I have one final question for you. What's the takeaway, the core idea that the author wants us to remember?
I think it's about balance. Balance between ambition and integrity, between the pursuit of success and the preservation of our humanity. It's a cautionary tale, for sure, but also a story of hope. A reminder that even in the darkest moments, the human spirit can find a way to heal and to create something new, something better.
Absolutely. It reminds us that even the most delicious creations can have a hidden bite, and that sometimes the greatest successes are born out of the most difficult challenges. Well, this has been an incredible journey into the world of Butter, a novel of food and murder. To all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it as thrilling and thought-provoking as we did. And if you're looking for a captivating read, we highly recommend picking up a copy of this book. Until next time, happy reading.